Hello, this is Dave Hurwitz at ClassicsToday.com, where I'm the executive editor, whatever that means. Now, I thought since we're all quarantined during this awful period of coronavirus and during the pandemic, I thought I would spend some time hunting around for the worst ever recording of Brahms' Third Symphony. Because I figured, I'd listen to a lot of them. It would take up an afternoon, and I'd also hear a lot of good recordings. Unfortunately, the search took me about 30 seconds because I sort of knew which one it was and I hit on it right away. Here it is, Leopold Stokowsky with the Houston Symphony Orchestra. Oh, this one is seriously bad. I mean, there was a bit of a competition because the other choice was the Furtwängler EMI with the Berlin Philharmonic, which is almost unlistenable. It's so poorly done. But that's not the problem there. As usual, the Furtwängler isn't so much the interpretation as his ability to get the orchestra to do what he had in mind. This is one of those moments where they just don't, and it's the most slovenly, badly played thing you've ever heard in your life, and the recording is also terrible. So that was a real competitor. But at the end of the day, it just couldn't compete with this piece of garbage. I mean, Stokowsky usually can be counted on to do something awful, which is actually good because he does the awful things with so much conviction and so much sheer chutzpah and glee that you kind of get won over, and listening to his performances is often sort of a guilty pleasure. This is just a guilt. This is no pleasure. I mean, because usually in the German standard repertoire, first of all, he didn't monkey around enough. I mean, he should have added the tam-tam. He should have added glockenspiels and harp glissandos. And I mean, wouldn't Brahms sound interesting that way? And maybe made some cuts and rearranged the order of the movements. But took the violins up an octave, added some harmonics. I mean, all the things that Stokowsky always does. He doesn't do any. He plays it straight. All of the horrible things are straight interpretive ideas that have to do with tempi. In the first movement, he takes off like a shot. It goes off like a rocket, and then slows down to about 1/8 the original tempo, and it recovers whenever the first theme comes back. I mean, it does, but holy cow, it just stops dead in its tracks. All of the energy dissipates, and the first movement is just a stop-and-go nightmare. Then we get to the second movement. Usually, this takes between 8.5, 9.5 minutes max. 11 minutes, people. 11 minutes. And it has that solemn, sort of strange, icy chorale in the center section, that bum, 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 which is going to come back in the finale, right? Oh my God. I mean, it's so dead. You just can't imagine. And then of course he takes the third movement because that's the one with the big tune that he can milk for all of the juicy romantic bits. That's okay. That's up to tempo. But the finale, the finale. Now the finale here is about 10 minutes, 9 minutes, 39 seconds. That in itself is not so bad. The problem is it is completely uninflected. I mean, totally. With Furtwängler or something like, he starts out sort of slow and gloomy and menacing, then takes off like an allegro, with an introduction and an allegro, even though Brahms wrote it to be all in the same tempo. It's okay. He gets the point. In other words, the conducting follows the character of the music. With Stokowsky, the whole thing is just leaden, flat, and it's like the flat surface on a lake on a still morning with not even a ripple anywhere. It just floats along with this sort of zombie-like, trance-like, glacial smoothness. I mean, you've never heard anything like it. It is so weird and so wrong and so much fun to hear once. But then you realize you just don't, it's not like great Stokowsky where you want to hear it more than once. You hear it once, it's a catastrophe, it's a complete disaster, and then you never want to hear it again. So it's on Everest, and it's coupled with a William Steinberg Brahms Fourth, which is normal, I mean, as you might expect, and respectful and decent. But this Brahms third, holy cow! I mean, it's absolutely it's on Vicodin, it's on Quaaludes, it's on something. There's just I don't know what it was, but and Stokowski gets the orchestra to do whatever he wants, but what he wants them to do is pretend that they're not doing anything. I mean, it's just an extraordinary performance for its complete impression of of nirvana, of sensory deprivation, of Brahms completely without emotional impact or expression. And if that's what you want in the Brahms third, then Stokowski is your man. Keep on listening, my friends. Thank you for watching, and forewarned is forearmed.